Hey everybody, it's Debbie Dubois again. I am going to do a tarot reading, and it's interesting because I'm going to do something a little bit different. Well, no, let's just rewind that. I'm going to do something totally different than I've ever done before. I asked my guidance to pull some cards for me for whatever purpose is needed right now. And I left it completely open, but there were a couple of areas of interest that I said, I have a feeling we could do a couple of different readings. So what was interesting is that as I started to pull the cards, I knew exactly what this reading was for. And it's something that, all of us in the Lightworker community really need to be aware of because it goes hand in hand with the event. All right. The event is definitely starting to happen from an energetic standpoint, and really has, not the actual event, but the precursor energies have been on its way. So the thing that's happening now, though, is that ever since about October of 2017, some information has been coming out in back channels, which has given us a clue as to what is going to happen on the structural, governmental, geopolitical, financial, market, planetary, worldwide shifts and changes that are happening. And so when I pulled cards, I felt very strongly that this was about this. And I have a feeling, having gotten to what I would consider the graduate phase of the twin flame path or the sacred partnership path, that I am now being guided to start sharing what I know and what has been coming out and becoming more and more visible to those of us who are, I want to say, less focused on relationships and the obstacles to the union, the sacred union that we talk about. Those of us who either have union or are at peace with where we're at with our unions, or where we're having graduated from some of the, I want to say, the soul work that comes along with this. Those of us that are in that place are starting to now look at the global picture. And what is this coming event, and how is it showing up in our everyday lives as a global perspective? So the cards that I have pulled is for the changes that are taking place in the background. Actually, they're starting to become in the foreground if you know what to look for. And what we're going to do is we're going to start right now, and we're going to look at the first card is the Justice card. Interesting. That's one of the cards that made me know what this reading was going to be about. So this card is Athena, okay? And it's Justice, which is, basically it has to do with wisdom, fairness, detachment, okay? And, when we look at the symbolism on this card, if you look at the owl as the wisdom or the enlightenment, and then the serpent as a symbol of fertility, what you have here is a brand new era of enlightenment with the possibilities that come along with this new energy, okay? But one of the things that Athena brings is the ability to remain unattached to outcomes. And it's kind of like preferring to remain in the calm of the intellect and the perspective rather than diving into the emotions of all the entanglements of what's happening. So in a sense, this is very symbolic of really how I see a lot of the people who, like me, are watching all of this unfold. We're remaining very unattached emotionally to what we see, because I think most of us have developed enough ability to remain, what do you want to say, in our center, in our truth, we're not swayed so much by everything we read. We're able to discern for ourselves. We have an inner knowing and an inner wisdom that is not so loaded up with programs, that we're able to remain open to different possibilities. And as we're able to do this, many are coming together mentally, emotionally, collective consciously, to bring out some, sharing of data points of, this leads to this piece of the puzzle, leads to that piece of the puzzle, and everyone's sort of being able to see firsthand some of the changes that are going on in the background. So that's where I think that comes from. And we're also to the place where we're not as worried about what other people think as we express what we see happening on the planet, whether we're talking about the event or whether we're talking about, the United States administration, or no matter what we're talking about, we're not as fearful, because we don't really even need to worry about defending ourselves. It's like we're able to stand in our truth. We're able to stand in our own knowing, and we don't really care as much what other people think about us. And that comes from this immense training that you get on this sacred union path, on this, catalytic heart awakening path. So it really gives you the ability to be, I want to say, skilled in the art of battle, in that we're not getting our feelings hurt if people don't agree with us, and we're not, bending over backwards to cater to other people's thinking. We want to hear with reasonable ears. We want justice to be done. And I think that is, when I saw the justice card, that is what I see. We want justice. The light workers want justice. We want the energies of the light to be in power so that we can create what we came here to create. And the only way we're going to do that is to bring it forth. And we do that through watching it happen, supporting it happen, and remaining unattached to how it happens, or who makes it happen, or all the programs that we're dealing with. So that's the first card. Now we move into the Six of Staves. That, my friends, is a victory card. This card is so exciting. I mean, really what this woman is doing is she's sharing her victory. And I say her victory, that divine feminine energy that's been paring away at the patriarchal masculine, the fake masculine, the masculinity that was put in place, that as a collective, it was the stymieing of the energy of true divine feminine masculine balance. Well, what we're doing right now is, those of us who have done this work, and I know you're right there with me, we are starting to see, and will start to see more and more, the success after the much work and the struggle that we've been through. Okay? It's time for us to honor one another, acknowledge the battles, acknowledge how far we've come, and to see what those fruits are. What is the outcome of that? The outcome of the courage that you've had, the integrity that you've developed, and how we're integrating all of that into our new earth, into the new world. And that victory, listen, until we have that state of being where all elements of this earth are transformed, the victory still, it's kind of like, as they say, as above, so below. It's like we, as the light bringers, or the starseeds, or those of us that incarnated here, and I include all of you that are listening to this as part of that, as we get to that place, we're bringing that energy. But what we came for is, we came to dismantle all the ugliness, the illusion of ugliness. It's all illusion. We're in a matrix. This is a game. And I hate to put it that way because I don't want to minimize it, but it's an artificial reality. All right. Everything we see is made up of energy, and it's been manifesting a certain way. And we've come in as starseeds, at this time to literally transform it. This card right here, the Six of Staves, says we are at victory at our creation level. Those of us who came to do this are at our victory level. So now what has to happen is physical manifestation. Thank you very much. Wow. And then here we have, what do we have right here? The Prince of Cups. Okay, and I like to think in this reading of all of these cards at the top is kind of like where we're overflowing, what is actually physically manifesting. You know, we'll get deeper into the cards and I'll tell you what I'm kind of seeing the symbolism of the central, you know, cards. But at the top, it's like, what are we overflowing with? What is becoming obvious? What is becoming apparent? All right. The Prince of Cups is about a gentle energy, the blossoming of a young adult. Proffers a cup, okay? I'm looking at the book right now, and it's saying it's decorated with the symbols of Venus and of the divine feminine for whom he's a representative of, okay? So here we've got this cup, this magical potion being offered to the world at this time, which is more based on intuition, gentleness, and it's an invitation to move forward into the new energies, okay? So here we are at this new changeover point. We think of the event coming. We think of those people that have not been playing by those rules of the game, those people who have been, you know, working from a dark agenda, you know, whether you want to call them deep state, whether you want to call them the cabal, whoever it doesn't matter. And we will know who those people are as they start to disappear and as they start to fall. They will not be influences anymore. How this is going to manifest will be very interesting to watch, because this new energy that's being offered up leaves no room for the shenanigans that have been going on post this period. Okay. So how I'm kind of seeing this is there's going to be some people who are going to be directly called out, and you're going to see it in the limelight. This person has done this, and boy, that didn't see that coming. And then they're going to be gone. There's going to be other people that are just going to die, and they're going to be gone. So their influence is gone. And there's other people that are just going to vanish, and you're just not going to hear from them again. And you're really not going to be like, you know, no one will ever said that they're gone or they died or whatever, but their influence is just completely gone. So that kind of stuff is what's starting to happen with this gentleness that's coming in. Okay. It's coming from the energy that is childlike with open hearts. Okay. Now, this is much more moving into our intuition, of what's really happening. All right. So that is that crowning overall energy that's spilling out of the cup, if you will. All right. But let's look at the second level of this, and that is the Ace of Pentacles and oppression, the Wawalak. All right. We're going to look at those two cards. And it's so funny because when we look at these two cards, we almost see polar opposite energies. Okay, so this is the push-pull. It's actually, you notice it's not at the top energies. This push-pull, this illusion, if you look at your news channels, and the news is all completely controlled, even back channel news sources are not as reliable as we once thought, because the people who might have come out and originally started pointing, we're finding out that a lot of those people could have been part of the actual agenda of the dark side. And it's very difficult to know, but the suspicion of anything you see where someone's reporting news, whether it be back channel or front channel, let's face it, none of us believe anything we hear anymore. What do we, I don't believe anything you say. Kind of energy. So what's interesting is that normally this battle that's going on between, I want to say, the light and darkness, love and fear, the duality, the struggle that's going on, I would say in the past that would have been up in the top row. But now it's pushed down a level. It's pushed down a level in the funnel. It's like if you get to the bottom and you go through the funnel, it's gone. Okay, it's pushed down in the funnel. All right, sitting on top of King of Cups energy, which is interesting in itself. But we're looking at two opposing energies. We got the light, which is the Ace of Pentacles, and we got the dark, which is the oppression. Let's dive into those two cards. We look at the Ace of Pentacles as I want to say a period of generosity and prosperity and bountiful manifestation. Okay, this is a new era. It bears fantastic fruits. This is coming directly from the book. Bears fantastic fruit. Think about that. As we start moving into this event, whether it is a single event that happens in one moment or if it's a series of flashes that happen individually for different people, I'm not sure of that. It doesn't matter because essentially we're all one, all right? As this energy starts taking over, what's it doing? It is having to come up against this oppression card. And what is the oppression? The oppression has been this dark patriarchal energy that has pretty much been controlling the planet. And I'm not even saying that this is an outside influence. I'm not even saying, I mean, some people really think, okay, this is completely outside and someone came in and they did all this to us. Yes and no. We are all that is. We are part of all that is. So this is the piece of us. It's our darkness. It's the stuff we haven't wanted to look at. It's the stuff we haven't wanted to own. But we can't go into the new energies with this oppression, card, if you will, sitting right here. But what is really fascinating when you look at this oppression card, which in the traditional tarot deck is the Tower card, okay? This is interesting. I'm looking at the book here and it says, you are waiting to be released from the darkness. Okay? Now think about that. This event, what are we all waiting for? We're waiting to be released from this darkness. But in essence, what's happening is this new energy that's coming in is our very own calling back of our own energies. And as we call back our own energies, we are actually releasing our own self from the darkness, okay? So this card of the Tower and oppression is representative of a new start, okay? After a painful ending that may have shattered your view of the world. Oh my God. People are going to go through this now, all right? They are going to be looking at, oh my God, the world is coming to an end, because there's so many people that still, this is not maybe you and I, but it might be our brothers and sisters or our parents or our best friends, or, well, if they're our best friends, they probably know, a little inkling. Even our parents probably know a little inkling of what we've been saying, but we're talking about your colleagues that you work with and stuff. This is going to, some of the stuff that's going to come through and come forward and is coming forward right now are some things that are shattering the view that people have of the world. I mean, some of the information that's coming forward about what these people have actually been doing and what their agenda has been has really, really undercut and shaken the whole foundation of our, loving-hearted belief systems of what we think our world is about. So, but this card, the Tower card, and this card here, represents the pause before moving into a new phase of life. Well, look at what's polar opposite to it sitting here in the center is this Ace of Pentacles. And what does the Ace of Pentacles represent, right? Generosity, divine feminine's prosperity, fertility, attainment of material wealth, of material goals, of contentment. Now that's a big word, contentment in our lives, pleasures at living here in the material world. And I don't know about any of you, but a lot of times, if I were to say what is my desire and wish is for a world where, number one, I'm not encumbered by the financial restrictions, the slavery that's necessary to create dollars so that you can pay for stuff you need. I mean, because it locks you in. It takes you out of freedom. It makes you a slave to some degree in one fashion or another. Some people are more slaves than others, depending upon the type of jobs they do. But it means that you can't just go do what you want to do. Now, I'm a Sagittarius, and it's interesting because as a Sagittarius, I'm typically a person who loves travel, all right? But my inner instincts coming in as a starseed has always been cover my light. which has translated into not traveling. I don't want to travel. I don't trust the energies out there. When I go out there away from my own light, this is in the past, when I went away from my own light vortex, I would get very uneasy. All right. And this is just all coming to me right now. So, all right. So this travel aspect, now what would be my greatest ability is to go travel the world and see the beauty of our planet. Have you seen all the pictures, guys? Do you know what a gorgeous marble we are living on? And yet how many of us feel, women especially, how many of you feel that you could just now, I know there's someone named Vera out there, talking to you, Vera, you did do that. You just up and went, and there are those of you who do it. I wish I had had the courage to this point to do that. But, the pleasures of the material world for me is literally going out there and seeing the beauty of the physical planet. All right. I want to go onto the beaches. I want to sit and hear the sounds of the nature. I want to see the beautiful blue waters. I want to see the gorgeous snow-capped mountains. And all of those kind of things is what this whole Ace of Pentacles represents. So here we are right next to the Tower card, right? Waiting to be released from the darkness. And, and to some degree, the fear that the light is not going to come. Those of us who've been doing this for a long time, or seemingly forever since we got here, it's like, oh God, oh, it's not effing ever going to come, and that right there is that oppression card. But notice it's the only card in this reading with that energy. That bodes really well for where we're at. All right, let's look at the anchor energy, the bottom of the funnel. The energy at the very, very bottom is the King of Cups. And oh my God, if that isn't a card of mastery, okay? Practical mastery. So here we are, light workers. Here we are, Starseeds, you champions of light, you catalytic heart awakening school, people. Here we are. And the cards were telling me that as we're going to start going through all of these shifts and changes, those of us who have been on this path and done so much of this work, there was a huge reason for that, because we need to be at our mastery. Okay, that's the base energy of all of this. We have to be and had to be at a certain level of mastery in order for us to add our energies to the anchoring of the light as the event happens and as this socio-economical, geopolitical, financial, banking, medical industry shift over everything that is getting ready to shift, we're anchoring those energies. All right. So whether you choose to watch it unfolding in the background, which I am fascinated by, and, I'm going to begin to share more information about some of what I'm knowing, and it's very common knowledge for those of you who know where to look. But here we are, we're at an emotional maturity. Okay, the King of Cups is emotional maturity. It's integrity. It's you symbolizing this now when you're needed. Okay, so this is really exciting stuff. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to look at the outcome card, which is the Nine of Pentacles. And wow, okay, the Nine of Pentacles. This is about luxury. Okay, pleasure. Literally overflowing garden of everything that we've worked hard for. Prosperity, abundance, blessings. That's what all of this symbolizes. And look at that on her fingertips. This white, beautiful bird. Is that a dove? Is it us soaring? The energy of attainment of all the things that we came for. Look at, there's those beautiful mountains, the trees, all right, the flowers, the opulence, the serenity, all of those things that we came here to create, not just experience for ourselves, but most of us came here. We already know this stuff. All right, we've already been here. We've already achieved this. Most of us understand what we were aiming for. That's why we had such strong knowing of what we had to do and focus, laser focus on what we had to bring here, because this is what we've envisioned all along. And now what we're getting a taste of is this is getting ready to be here. It is here. We are all bringing this here. And the stuff that's happening in the background, it's kind of like, I think of it as, I don't know, the dust bunnies. There's a good way to say it. Okay, you've done a whole bunch of cleaning. You look around the room, you're in your room, and you're looking around your room, and it's all nice and clean. And you've actually gone ahead and dusted your furniture, and you've swept and everything else, and then you look under the bed. And you're like, oh my God, and it's a wood floor. So you can just see all the dust bunnies accumulated. It's kind of like the dark energies that have been on the planet are those dust bunnies, all right? And someone's got to get in there and take out the dust bunnies. Someone's got to get on their hands and knees, and they've got to get down underneath the bed, and they might have to get a little dirty, and they might have to, but you know what? They know the dust bunnies are there now. They're going for the dust bunnies. They're going to gather up those dust bunnies, and guess what? Those dust bunnies, they're going to get cleaned out, all right? And when it's all said and done, no more dust bunnies, okay? Now, how long does that process take? I don't know. Is it going to be a week? I doubt it. Is it going to be a couple of months? Probably more likely. Is it going to be a whole year? It could be. But watch the show. And I am going to start reporting on where to watch the show because I think it's time. And the reason why I haven't brought a lot of this forth is that I don't know. First of all, I just don't know how ready. I know that there are some of you that are really ready to really, I want to say it's that whole matrix thing, people, the red pill, the blue pill. You know, how many of you are really ready to hear? It's interesting. I dropped some intel into my True Sacred Union room to find out just a little bit, test the waters to see who might be ready to hear some of this stuff. And it was very interesting because I had one comment. It was the post that I put out there from a guy named Jay Sather. And it's, he's a young guy that he has a way of communicating some of this stuff that, you know, for those of us who have been knowing about this stuff for the last 10 years, I've been totally off that focus. I've been totally focused on, you know, the catalytic heart awakening path and all of my own unfoldment. But, you know, when I put out this information from Jay Sather, it's interesting because the one comment came in really strong. And of course it was by masculine energy. Oh, well, this kid says that the Hitler youth, you know, that these kids that are protesting for guns and stuff are the Hitler youth. So I don't believe anything he says. He shared a meme about it. So he's not going to the new earth. And I'm thinking to myself, listen, light workers, be ready. Things are not the way you think they are. I'm just going to say that again. Things are not the way you think they are. Now, some of you know exactly what I'm saying because you looked at this stuff before you ever got onto this twin flame path. You were involved in this. I know because I know some of you, and I know what, you know, some of you know about the financial advances and the currency reset and all of these things. I mean, I think I've mentioned before, I took on the foreclosure mill with my own fight against the banks, and I went in as my own attorney in fact into the courtrooms. I've done some of this stuff before I ever really got on this twin flame catalytic heart awakening path that really helped uncover all the layers I needed to dive back into why, you know, another reason why I'm here and others. If you're not ready for this information, that's okay. That's fine. You may not even need to know this information. Your job may be to just stay in that place and not watch any of this unfold. You're going to one day wake up and be, whoa, all that stuff is gone. I'm so glad the dust bunnies were cleared away. But I want to ask you, if you feel drawn to find out what's going on and to help, I want to say we are dealing with a 100th month monkey kind of situation here with these revelations that are coming up. And if you feel called to help people understand or be there, be awake enough about some of the stuff to be able to explain it to others when, you know, they start going, what the hell just happened? You'll be able to say, oh yes, that's okay. Everything's fine. This has been going on for a while. I've been knowing about it, but you know, I understand what's happening here. Let me help you understand what's happening. You get to that hundredth monkey where people start to say, oh yeah, I know that. Oh yeah, I've always known that. And it's going to make the transition a lot easier for the planet. So I believe that's a lot of why the star seeds came is, you know, this is, and some of you are actually just here in this community. Some people in that community that are dealing with that particular part of, I want to say, the ascension or awakening process, they didn't necessarily need this particular awakening path. So, you know, those of you who know that you're participating in both will be drawn to this video and you'll watch it. You know, it's funny because when I decided to make this video, I really decided it doesn't matter who sees it. If 5 people see it, and those are 5 people who are going to, you know, impact and help, I don't want to say spread the word, but be informed by what's happening. I think a lot more of you are going to resonate with this than, you know, I'm trying very hard not to judge this. This is my calling. My calling is to bring this information to you right now because these cards came out and I hadn't planned on doing these today. So here it is. All right. So anyways, gonna share a little bit more about that. I would like to encourage you, if this information calls to you, like to watch what's happening, go to actually I have a Facebook business page that is What on Earth 2018, and I also have a group, What on Earth 2018. If you want to know more about it, I'm going to post the more edgy stuff there, the stuff that I don't think is going to ruffle a lot of feathers. The last thing I want to do is create I don't want to create any chaos in the energies and the beautiful energies that we've all brought up together. I even noticed sharing, you know, I shared something about a friend who has, you know, decided to step outside the twin flame paradigm or whatever and have an experience outside of that. That's amazing. And I can't believe how many people it's really stirred up some stuff. And maybe that is meant to happen. I don't know, but what I really don't want to do is I don't want to throw a bunch of discourse out there. I don't want to create a bunch of chaos. What I'm really trying to do is bring forth some very exciting news about what's happening that is all good. It's all good. None of it is bad, not from my perspective. So if this information doesn't resonate with you, that's fine. You may not want to follow my stuff anymore because it is going to involve what's happening in the bigger picture. Because this journey that I personally have been on has prepared me to do my work even to a greater level. And it has been preparing those of you who have work to do as well. So I hope you enjoyed this reading. I'm excited about it. I love getting into new territory, especially with tarot cards, because it's a way for me to really relate with the energies and to get excited about what I see and offer this up for you. So look forward to doing some more videos really soon. And I love you guys. I hope you're having a wonderful Easter Sunday, however you choose to spend it. Okay. Hopefully you've got, you know, some friends and family that you're spending time with, but maybe some of you actually want to just be by yourself. I know that that's where I'm at right now. So anyways, I love you all. Namaste.